It's AllBall TV. You already know the motto. They scared, but I'm not. Yeah. Fabian perspective. Expected, so accepted. You ain't supposed to see my chair in the background like that. You ain't supposed to see all that, huh? Nice. Smack the chair on the floor. I think my camera's a little off. A little behind the scenes here, you know what I mean? Let's get it together. I don't want to rush, but we're gonna rush because it's time to talk to my people about these Knicks updates. Fabian perspective, expected, so accepted. We in Knicks Rehab, baby. Danny Berry in the building. Twitter, what's going on? Let's get right to it, man. Knicks Rehab, a lot going on for tonight. Great news from the injuries. I'm hyped. Don't get me hyped up for no reason. You look so good. Ain't my type of hype. God bless the dead buns, man. We used to laugh at that shit. Oh. Me and you was crazy cool. We gotta put that clip out, Flea. Is Flea in the building? I mean, beat it ding, beat it ding, beat it ding, beat it ding. The Strickland was, I don't want to say they're reporting, but the Strickland is reporting that the Fred Katz is reporting. Where's the wrong one? Beating down Fred Katz and Chris Plash. We'll click on your name in a second. The Strickland has updates, injury updates for the Knicks. OG Anunoby is cleared for contact drills and 5-on-5. Wow. Cleared for contact drills and 5-on-5. Jalen Brunson, he did most of practice. Jalen Brunson participated in most of practice. This is the one that really, and the millions of Knicks fans are gonna go crazy about. Mitchell Robinson can run and jump, looks good. What? Are you kidding me? Let's see who Chris is. Chris Winfield is a beat writer for the Daily News. Okay, so Chris Winfield, who has a selfie in the bathroom. Yo, Chris Winfield, if that's really you, gotta get it together, bro. You in the real media game right now. You look crazy. Take yourself seriously, all right? Nah, that looks no disrespect, Chris Winfield. Let's see. As I type this back here. So come on, man. That's great news. Mitchell Robinson's able to jump around. Jonathan Isaac. Oh, here's another one. Jonathan Isaac and Gary Harris appear available for Friday versus Knicks. Both sat out Wednesday game. That's big time. Gary Harris, he just got signed, right? Any other news? I don't see any other injury news except for a bit. We're scrolling through the Knicks right now. Yeah, I don't see anything. The Knicks have ruled out. Okay, here's some news right here. The Knicks have ruled out as LeBron James dances in the background. What is he doing over there with Patrick Beverly? Why are they going this hard? What is happening? Your man was going in right there. Wow. Wow. Look, cynical Knicks fan. Team finally gets healthy. Wow. 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 The Knicks have ruled the following players as out for tomorrow's game against the Magic: OG Anunoby, Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson. Jalen Brunson is questionable. Interesting. So there goes the Knicks injury update. Keith, what's going on, man? Keith Watkins, my brother. I did have something. Let me see a Knicks rehab thing I wanted to talk about the other day. That was good, yeah. Oh yeah, did we get on him already? We got on Paul Pierce already. A moron. I wanted to watch this with you guys real quick. Is this?
Are you sick of having issues with your webinars?
Nah,
Wasting tons
come
of
on. What do you think you are? You can't just jump on my timeline like that. I tell you what to do. Out of here, StreamYard. So, shout out to this Jay Warves. He broke down a timeline of how Ewing and the Knicks failed to win an NBA title on Knicks Rehab.
Win or lose, it's all gonna come here. If we win, it's gonna come here. We lose, it's gonna come right back here. No matter who the coach is, I'll be always the one who gets blamed.
You think so?
Yeah, it's always been that way. It's been that way for 11 years.
I already hated Patrick Ewing's approach to the game, approach to life right there. Who do you think you are? Whether we win or we lose, I'm gonna get the blame. That's like a pessimistic way to look at things, right? I'm gonna get the blame. Wah. Wah. So what if you get the blame? You get paid $100 million as part of the deal. Quit, retire. It's guaranteed money. It's not like it's football. I already don't like what Patrick Ewing said right there, man. And by the way, I hold Patrick Ewing down. I'm always the one that holds him down no matter what. I'm always holding Patrick Ewing down in the recent era, in the current era, because back in the day, there was a time period in the 90s we caught so much slander as Knicks fans with the 1 point against the Pacers, the missed finger roll, that it was like we were an easy target and people would just shun us. So for a while, we started just squatting and all over Patrick Ewing's name. But what does that mean, Keith? I have 2 feeds going. I like them both. You got 2 feeds going. What does that mean? What you mean by that? Yeah, so a while it took, like Patrick Ewing was a pinata, and then we became pinatas as Knicks fans, and then we treated his name like a pinata, and it's almost like, okay, but without Patrick Ewing, what are the Knicks in this? Like, they're not worth this much. They're not able to sell from Grunfeld or whatever they were, and what company was that bought them? It wasn't Time Warner in early 90s. Discovery. It was some big company that owned them in the early 90s. When Pat Riley was there, he wanted a piece of the ownership because he knew the ownership change was coming. People were in his ear. That's why he owns 20% of the Miami Heat now. So there was a lot to the Knicks, right? And Patrick Ewing is the reason why they were able to be sold. Like Steph Curry's because they won and they were able to find players around them. They did a great thing around Steph Curry. The Golden State Warriors were able to be worth $6 billion. But it can be argued that without Patrick Ewing, what are the Knicks? from the bridging the gap from the 70s to 2024. There's a huge piece missing. The rivalry against Michael Jordan, and we didn't get over the hump, but that's how a lot of us became fans too, and and passed that on. Without that, there is no passing on the Knicks. It's not like the Mets. Like I'm a Mets fan too. I don't watch baseball like that anymore or football. I should begin to, but the Mets, they had the city on smash in the 80s, like the Knicks did in the 90s. I mean, in the 70s, but they never had. There's no bridging. There's no star player like Jeter with the Yankees, like all these legends that played for the Yankees. To remember, the Yankees stunk in the 80s. Everybody keeps talking about they won. They have a championship every 4 years, but for me, they also were able to. George Steinbrenner had to sit down and get suspended for a while, right? Then they were able to build a farm system. Then you were able to get Jeter, was it Pettit, Posada, Mariano, if I'm not mistaken, from the farm system. So you bridge the gap from what's the guy at first base? Don Mattingly, Donnie Baseball, right? Then when they stunk, and you bridge the gap from when they were good in the early 80s to the all throughout the 80s, then the 90s, then you get to the late 90s where you bridge this gap that now the Yankee brand is back to where they can sell media rights, and they just joined up with MSG, Yes Network, MSG Network in New York City. I don't know how it's gonna look like, but they are all combined now, and a big part of that is because of Patrick Ewing, Derek Jeter. Even though Patrick Ewing never won, and he had this stank attitude, like he said, "Here, look what he sounds like."
Yeah, it's always like here. No matter who's gonna come here. If we win, win or lose, it's all gonna come here. If we win, it's gonna come here. We lose, it's gonna come right back here. No matter who the coach is, I'll be always the one who gets blamed.
You think so?
Yeah, it's always been that way. Been that way for 11 years.
Yeah, like calm down, man. Might be a glitch. One channel has 3 watch, another has 10. No, there's one is AllBall Fabian PerspecTV. This one's AllBall, and it's AllBall TV. Keith Watkins. Yeah, man. Either one is good money. We monetize on both, baby. Wink, wink. Jam and Jet. Ewing requested a trade, and for a few years we chased bad contracts. Yeah, but Ewing had right. He requested a trade. He was able to utilize or exercise the advancement in his what they considered player empowerment, because his contract was amazing. He made 10% more than every other contract, than the highest contract in the league every single season. So if he was making $10 one season, and all of a sudden Alonzo Mourning signed for $100 million per season, Patrick Ewing gets $110 million because he gets 10% more than the highest contract in the league. That's what was built in Patrick Ewing's contract. Because David Falk was his agent, same as Michael Jordan. So great point, Jam and Jet. He requested a trade. He uses player empowerment to his advantage, but then he sounds like that, like, oh, I get blamed for whatever it is. Wah. Get out of here. Either way, I hit the like button on both. Keith, thank you very much. The Glenn Rice years. Tough.
The Knicks have won as the follow shot rolled off the rim. And what an emotional ending. The Celtics came very close, but the Knicks prevail.
Look out. King hurt himself as he gave the foul on Theus. Toward the ankle. So Bernard King hustling down.
As Bernard King was carried from the court, the last of the Knicks' fading hopes died painfully before their eyes.
It was a very difficult time in New York over the next 2 seasons.
The second pick in the 1985 NBA draft goes to the Indiana Pacers. The horseshoe works. Basketball is back in New York City, my friend.
Hold on. You ain't getting nothing from us. B&H. I like B&H, but not on my fee. You ain't paying me. Matter of fact, I don't like B&H, so you pay me. How about that?
no differently. And here's David Stern
For
with the
their
announcement.
first pick, select Patrick Ewing.
Feels great. I'm very happy that New York has chosen me in the draft. I'm happy to play in New York. New York is a fine city. My show, we have a lot of fanfare. I'm just happy that to get
Hold
there.
on, hold on. What? This team was horrendous. Oh my God. The only one I remember, Trent Tucker and Darryl Walker, Ernie Grunfeld, you know, because he worked for them. Nah, come on. Somebody got to explain this. And then the travesty of this is that they gave up on Bernard King. Star players always get the blame and the credit. Yeah. I wish there was more Bernard King games on YouTube. It was too early to record games back then. Brother Bernard was a beast. Yeah. And it was, you know, he thought he tore his knee up and everything, but you couldn't take a chance on Bernard King and his injury. Bad enough they could have bought Dr. J from the Nets instead of the 76ers getting them. Bad enough that happened, right? We'll get to that another time. I want to talk about why did we refuse. You know what? Let's look that up, guys. Why? And that's what we're gonna do a segment on that. Why did the Knicks not sign? I'm so glad that there was no pornography trickling down my search bar right there. Even though why did the Knicks should not be in any porn site? But hey, that's neither here nor there. Why did the Knicks not sign Bernard King? Because, you know, I'm not like these dudes out here that claim they know it all. ACL tears were career enders back then. It doesn't matter, though. It doesn't matter. Did you see that lineup, bro? Are you kidding me? Keith Watkins.
Needles.
We'll look at it some other time. Well, YouTube, you're playing with me too much, man. That lineup was crazy, bro. That lineup was. I'd rather take a chance. Gerald Wilkins didn't. I'd rather take a chance on Bernard's knee than Gerald Wilkins and any one of these guys. Bernard injury got them Patrick Ewing, but the New York Knicks should have chosen to keep Bernard King, who went to have a good stint with the Washington Wizards team. Who weren't the Wiz then, the Bullets, of course. I ain't scared to say the Bullets. And YouTube, they shouldn't. Washington Bullets. We got to say it together, right? Yeah, but medicine hadn't advanced. It doesn't matter, man. But you know what? It should matter, Keith. It should matter, right? Because who back then was keeping players? Like, maybe if you see what you have to be creative, though, right? If you see what Bill Walton became on the Celtics after what he did with Portland, you know, you guys like Gerald Wilkins? All teams were doing the same thing. I'm 54, and I became a Knicks fan from that team. Gerald Wilkins was a good Knick. I don't know. I'm still taking a chance on the 15th guy being Bernard King. Like, I'm wondering, was there a beef backstage? Here we go. 35 years later, Knicks' decision to cut Bernard King still haunts them. Okay, King was released at the end of the 86-87 season due to injuries. Wait a minute now. Patrick Ewing was drafted in 84. See, that's why we got to look deeper into this. Patrick Ewing drafted in 85. Oh, of course. Come on. Dominique, aren't they brothers? Dominique was better than was crazy for that, especially for that era. What happened was they let Rick Pitino go. Back then, but with the bomb squad? Let's look it up, though. Let's look at this together. We'll learn together in real time, guys. The New York Knicks have a lot of moments they wish they had back over the years. It's been 23 years since the Knicks reached the NBA Finals. That appearance, game lost San Antonio. Yeah, come on. Let's get to the bread and butter, guys. Stop playing with me, Bleacher Report or SI. This is why Sports Illustrated got fired everybody. Come on, man. Bleacher Report polled local experts and asked them about the biggest what-if moment. Knicks Film School suggested that the Knicks' biggest moment was the release of Bernard King. Is the second biggest X-Man letting X-Man go to the Celtics and Patrick Ewing Patrick Ewing again, same agent David Falk with X-Man, and you let him go to the cell. Come on. Ultimately, this isn't a perfect what if because King's return was short-lived thanks to another knee injury in 91. Okay, still the greatest question in front. Yeah, but that's still 4 seasons of Ewing and Bernard King we missed out. In the mid-'80s, King was the franchise face of the Knicks and won the 84-85 score that summer. The front office subsequently built the team around Ewing by adding Charles Oakley in the 88 of the year Mark Jackson. Concurrently, King suffered another injury and missed the entire 85-86 season and played just 6 games the following year. The team released him, but ultimately, looking back, it made a mistake. King regained his form with the Bullets in 91. 28 points per game, third best behind Jordan and Karl Malone. Jesus Christ. He fell victim to another knee injury, kept him out. King was inducted to the Naismith Hall of Fame. If King stayed up. But we need, like, okay, he had another knee injury. They just gave up on him. He did not recover. I need some tea, some dirt. Why did Bernard King leave the Knicks? Or why did the Knicks trade him? That was our failure to have vision beyond current decade. Exactly. Another reason why we're excited now, right? Knicks 100. That's why we're excited now. We think we got some guy, Leon Rose, La Cosa Nostra. We think we got him in the building, and he's gonna have vision. And we can put someone like Bernard King on the back burner and say, you know what, Papa, you take your time, because at any given time you got a conglomerate, that tandem of a Ewing and Bernard King. Anything he can give you. You know, it's tougher back then. There was no load management also. Let's get that straight, right? Ain't no load management. Imagine Bernard King being like, yo, guys, I'm going to take the next 3 games off and I'm going to do well. After that, the following 3 games, I'm going to come back A1 sauce. The whole world would have been like, you soft, you know. No one had that kind of vision back then. Even Don Nelson was probably the most creative coach, and I don't think he would have done that per se. But you know, imagine if they had those 3, Bernard, Patrick, and Gerald. You guys are very big on Gerald Wilkins, and I've been watching footage. Maybe for his era. That's another thing. People are watching things with a 20/20 hindsight. You can't. A lot of us make that mistake now. Like when they say, "Hey, Steph Curry could have played back then, he would have had a left hand." It's like, I don't know if he would have been doing all that. Like they might have taken it away from him just by like, "Oh, you want to go left? Bang! Here's a left elbow." And Wilkins, I don't know if he was an average 2 guard. Like you can't even look at his stats, right? Because Gerald Wilkins, let's see, Gerald Wilkins, who played on the Grizzlies. Good for you, Gerald Wilkins. He's been locked up before. Good for you, Gerald Wilkins. 6'6". You know what? I made a mistake and not the 13 points per game. You know, what's his career highs? Luka, we're sick of you, Luka. All right, career highs of 19 points per game, second year in the league. Okay, I can see why you guys were going crazy. 19 a game, I would have been going nuts too. 86, 87, you crazy? I'd be like, oh, you crazy? You don't even know who Gerald Wilkins is. You know what he does for us? I would have gone nuts myself. Bro, I agree with you most times, but this time I'm telling you, they thought they were making the right decision. Washington got him cheap after he was released. Then he got hurt again, and that was it. No, I understand. I guess it was as simple as the injury. Okay, I guess I want to know, were they having these kind of conversations? That's what I want to know, Keith. Because I believe people, like, you know, sometimes you see them with the sports jacket and everything, and they trying to come off like, you know, they're so professional they would never have these kind of conversations. They have these conversations on every level of everything. Like Amazon is one of the biggest companies in the world, right? Anything you complain about, or if you look into them, like the research and development, that's how they make their money, right? That's how they save a lot of their money. They don't really pay taxes like that, right? Because they found some loophole with research and development, Amazon, right? So now, are you sitting there really deliberating? Hey, we want to save some costs on the customers, the consumers. So we're gonna, I don't know, start like charging less. Somebody's sitting there trying to, they're gonna offer that for some reason. But with the Knicks, that was a horrible fucking analogy. I'm sorry, guys. And I cursed. Knicks Rehab, family show. Anyway, the point is, I wonder who was sitting there having this conversation. Hey, I believe in him. Who was pulling for him? Clearly, it wasn't the people with the influential voice. They were both back to the basket centers. There was no stretch bigs back then. Unfortunately, back then, probably not. Right. Wilkins was good on the Knicks. Well, you're asking, yeah, Pat Cartwright and Ewing didn't work, and then Oakley was a better fit. And of course, X-Man. I think X-Man is the bigger. Do you think Bernard King is a bigger what if than X-Man? Because how long did X-Man even last for after the 92-93 season? Let's see. Xavier McDaniel. $15 points. He played until 97-98. He left to go to Greece one of those seasons. 91. So he took a scoring dip with the Knicks, right? After going with Phoenix. He was in his prime with the Knicks. Did he read? And it was defensively because his rebounding wasn't great, right? He took a lot of great shots, right? 47% from the field. For the first part of his career, X-Man shot 49% from the field. I would imagine he took a lot of close shots to the basket. If a lot of us feel like he was the missing piece to the 93-94 season. Bernard was a beast. Neither one of those guys were going to come off the bench at that time. Cartwright was a beast in his own right as well. Yeah, but he wasn't on Patrick Ewing. Bill Cartwright has the ugliest jump shot in the history of mankind. In the history of mankind, bro. Jesus Christ. There's nothing uglier than that. Sean Marion, there's nothing. Slow-mo right now for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Garbage looking jump shot. But Bill Cartwright is the logo of ugly jump shots. Big trash. He made them. It was a good jumper. But even as a kid, I was like, how was he? Like, is that a real? Like, wow. How come he's the only one shooting like that? Because that's when I first started watching basketball. I mean, he was on the Bulls. How is he shooting the ball like that? Like, how is he? And he's the only one. X-Man was no king. Trust that. No, well, but no, I mean, Bernard King was better. He was better, but I'm saying if when they say he's the biggest what if in Knicks history, number one got to be Dr. J. Number one is flat out Dr. J's the biggest what if in Knicks history. The Knicks could have signed him, but they didn't. They could have purchased his contract from the Nets, whatever it was, right? Because he was in Long Island, same jurisdiction, so the Nets couldn't play in the same city, and the Knicks had to be compensated for that. Cool. They could have got Dr. J. They didn't do it. That's another. Like, you talk about no foresight, no vision. Dr. J was the biggest star. Just who the hell was running? Listen, Red Holtzman. It would better not have been there. When did Red Holtzman leave the Knicks? Red Holtzman. He was with the Knicks until, he was with the 70s and 80s. Red Holtzman, were you the coach? Holtzman then became a scout for the Knicks for the next 10 years from 67 to 82. Oh, yeah, okay. All right. I ain't too mad at you, Red Holtzman. But who was running the Knicks in the 70s that they let Dr. J go? I think Dr. J is the number one biggest what if in Knicks history. Not even close. Like, Bernard King is great. Come on now. But he was injury prone and everything. Dr. J goes to 4 finals. And he's a big reason why. Come on. Second biggest what if got to be between Bernard King, and X-Man, but I think X-Man only because of the team. Like by the time X-Man and the Knicks part ways, come on now, we're Eastern Conference Finals, 7-game series against the Bulls. The way Charles Smith got punked by the Bulls, and if X-Man would have been there, he would have been somebody else to really like try to get into their head. And I think that's a bigger what if, because that's another season with the same team, you know, running back healthy. Bernard King was like, it was up in the air. That would have been crazy with him. And remember, because the bomb squad was right there, right? So if you get the bomb squad shooting that many 3-point shots, does Rick Pitino and Hubie Brown, because I know Rick Pitino was the one that ran the bomb squad, right? Do they have enough of a vision? I don't think they're gonna have enough of a vision to space the floor with the bomb squad, Bernard King and Pat. That sounds crazy. Damn. What is the bigger what if? Bernard King with that tenure with the Knicks for 3 or 4 years, try to go beat the Celtics, try to go beat the Pistons. Remember, they took the Pistons for 5 games, right? Ewing was killing the Celtics. Killing. Get out of here, Robert Parrish. And my is that hyperbole? Let me look at Patrick Ewing's playoff stats back then. So let me get on my horse, man. I go crazy. Patrick Ewing, 80s, 87, 88. Come on. Boston. He averaged. Oh, he shot bad the last game. Jesus Christ. When we lost 3-1. He averaged 18 a game against them. 49% from the field. What do you say? How many rebounds? 12, 13 rebounds. The last game was 20 rebounds. Jesus Lord. 5 blocks, 4 blocks. That would have been vicious though, right? Let's go to the comments before we get out of here. I truly believe if Bernard King got to play with Ewing and keep M. Jacks, we got a chip. Mark Jackson. See, with the bomb squad too, Harlem CEO. That's big time. Bernard dropped 50 on Mavs and next night 50 on the Spurs. Just the way Bernard King broke down his, like, he had 6 spots on the court, and that's what I'm going to get to. I don't care who's on the court. I don't care what defensive scheme you have. I'm going right here. Bing, boom, bang. That's crazy when you think about it. Cartwright was a 20 points per game scorer until he went to the Bulls. He also had one of the Keith, do you agree? The logo of worst looking jump shots in the history of mankind. Bill Cartwright. Sean Marion has nothing on him. Slow-mo over there. I keep forgetting Slow-mo's name in Minnesota. Just horrible looking jump shot. Horrendous. Marquez Fultz. X-Man was on the way out. I think he played 2 more seasons, if that, after he left us. We swept the Sixers too. Yeah, I think it talked about Barkley. You talk a lot, Barkley. And Barkley's my first favorite basketball player. And it's really because I hated Jordan so much that he played against Jordan in the championship. That's really a part of the reason why. But I also like he was a personality. He felt like he was a glitch. You know what I mean? But yeah, what you doing, Barkley, without your team? Come on, man. Let's not forget, he was supposed to be the bridge. Like, we always talk about Carmelo going to the Pistons, and they had a championship team already, and you know, but who knows if that would have turned into a Barkley situation? Because Carmelo reminds me a lot about Barkley in terms of effort. Like, he was a scorer and everything, but what else do you do? Barkley was a rebounder and everything, but you were mad lazy on defense. And so was Carmelo. They did not, and they were kind of fat boys on the court. No disrespect to the fat people. I just hit the treadmill, by the way. Congrats to me. We ended dynasties. We deaded the bad boy Pistons too. It's in caps lock, but I get into macho man mode when you got caps lock on. Bernard would not have been a part of that press. Pitino had him running. Ooh, good point. Damn, good point, Hall of CEO. Yeah. That's a good point, man. That's what hurt Rick Pitino with the Celtics, right? Larry Bird's not walking through that door. This guy's not walking through that door. These guys ain't walking through that door. But you were running a press with Chauncey Billups. You guys are grown men. What the hell are you talking about, Rick Pitino? Yo, hold on. Did you guys see what Rick Pitino said about the St. John's team, the Red Storm this season? Nah, hold on. We got to look that up. Speaking of Rick Pitino. Rick Pitino, like, who does he think he is? He is Rick Pitino, don't get me wrong. But if he was a basketball, like a regular ball player, let's look that up. I'm not gonna look it up. He went crazy on St. John's, though, his own team, Rick Pitino. He said, this is the worst team he's ever coached ever. Nah, hold on, I gotta look it up now. We got 4 minutes. I gotta get out of here. Rick Pitino, St. John's. This is crazy.
The 3 for Me only at Chili's serves up more deliciousness for just $10.99 than you'll find anywhere else. I mean, have y'all seen those fast food prices lately? It's like even they want you to come to Chili's. This Chili's 3 for Me is the best $10.99 you can eat.
All right, as we approach Selection Sunday, let's do some bubble watching.
Look at that.
Play the bubble music. Seton Hall and St. John's, a game with some major bubble implications.
No, we don't want to see this.
Joe Lenardi, see afterward, not happy.
I think they're unathletic. I don't think they move well laterally.
He's talking about his own team.
I think they're going to pick it up in the next week. I think they're slow laterally. I mean, Sean Conway gives you everything he can. He's slow laterally. About 5 guys are slow laterally. Even the Celtics, when we lost, I've enjoyed every minute being the Boston Celtic coach. Didn't like the fact that we lost in that following year, but this has been the most unenjoyable experience I've had since I've been coaching.
Do you have any second thoughts of taking this job?
No, not at all. It's not St. John's. It's my team. I think they're very respectful. They hear, but they don't listen. It's taken me a month to get them to throw bounce passes. Actually, 2 months to throw bounce passes. Just thinking of getting ready for Georgetown because Georgetown could definitely beat us. I'm not even thinking of the future at all. I'm just thinking of the next game and the next game and the next game, and that's it. Just try to get as many wins as you possibly can and represent St. John's in the best fashion you can.
Not happy.
These are the most unathletic. He said it's not St. John's, it's the team. They suck. 6'5" ball. I think Barkley was 6'4". Towns is down for the rest of the year. I know he tore his ACL, I think it was. I think he's talking about Jamal Wilkes, Kevin Martin. They want some ribs now. Yeah, my bad. I ain't supposed to play like commercial, Keith. I'm a Fordham University alumni. Yo, we got some people in Fordham jamming. Yeah, we got some people out there. We were just not at Fordham. We were at I think Manhattan College, but we have some people over there in Fordham University, man. AllBall TV, baby. Imagine if Ewing had a team like he did in '99 in his prime. Oh yeah, of course. But that's like a different kind of sliding doors effect. He would have to hop in a time machine, John. We talking about Bernard King having a chance with the Knicks late '80s and X-Men early '90s. I gotta get going. That was great. Knicks update. Remember, Mitchell Robinson is jumping up and down right now. Jalen Brunson almost finished practice, and Randall no timetable. OJ Anunoby has been approved for full contact. Let's go, Knicks! AllBall TV. You already know the motto. They scared, but I'm not.